And now, here to entertain you all, because every day he's hustling. Side Hustle Cinema.
Welcome back to the channel. Side Hustle Cinema here. Thanks for clicking on this video. And today, guys, I've got another double review for you. This time we're going to be dealing with some old 80s horror and some good stuff. I've got the 4K Kino Lorber edition of the BOOGENS. And I also got the Scream Factory edition of Funeral Home. So yeah, I watched both these, and I'll tell you what I thought of them, and kind of give you a spoiler-free review, and I'll let you know what I think. Should you pick them up? What are you going to expect here? And all that good stuff. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's talk about I don't know. Let's go ahead and start with the old BOOGENS. BOOGENS. I was really hoping that someone in the movie would say the name, you know, so I could, like, you know exactly how to say it. But I don't think they ever do. I don't think anyone says it. So anyway, I love the name. I think it's kind of fun. Great looking slipcover here too. I mean, I think that drew a lot of people in. It's a fun name. It's, you know, reminds you of like the Spookies or the Ghoulies or you know, Gremlins. So you know it's like some kind of a monster creature feature. And you know, hopefully you'll find out what a Boogen is. And yeah, so it's you know, it's in 4K. It's from Kino Lorber. So that's pretty cool too. And then you got the new cover art on here. You know, it's the same Kino Lorber disc that you know and love, and then we got the Blu-ray, the 4K. It does have the reversible cover art. There was like some original cover art, I guess. Yeah, and this movie came out in 1981, so we got some early 80s horror goodness here. And this movie was interesting. Okay, this movie, I mean, neither one of these movies are perfect. They both got some pros and cons, so I'm going to touch on some of those. I'll give you a quick premise of the movie. It's basically, you know, right away at the beginning of the movie, you find out that, you know, there was this mine, drew a lot of people to the town, looking to strike it rich. Something in the mine started attacking people. People were going missing, that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, the mine collapsed and it closed. You know, too many things going on in this mine, so it's closed up and shut down. Well, then you come to present day in the movie, and this company has been brought in to reopen the mine. So there's 4 guys there. You got like these 2 boss types, and then you got the 2, you know, worker bee types. And of course, I think one's supposed to be an engineer or something. But anyway, so they're going in, they're checking things out. They're following the maps, rigging up some lights, and they decide to open up one of the collapsed tunnels with some dynamite. And they do so, and of course, this awakens or unleashes the Boogen, and so now the monster is back, and you know, it's been a while, so he's probably hungry. And they got tunnels that run all over the town. And of course, one of the tunnels goes right to the house where the 2 guys are you know, renting out while they're working on reopening the mine. And one of them's got like his hot girlfriend coming up, and she brings her hot friend with her, and they show up. So there's like two guys, two girls in this house, and the one guy's kind of set up on a little romantic date there. They're kind of single, two of them. So that's kind of cool too. It was kind of a fun movie. All the characters are very likable. They do have a dog though that kind of got on my nerves. It never seemed to listen. It was always doing something crazy, and yeah, the dog kind of got on my nerves. But all the characters were likable, and it's a good thing too because you don't get a whole lot of monster stuff going on in this movie, not for a while. So much so, I mean, the runtime is only 95 minutes, and then that's with credits. So you're not talking about a long movie, and I had to I hit the display button on the remote because I was like, this movie seems to be going on for a while, and there hasn't been much going on. I was curious as to how far I was into the movie, and it was almost an hour in. Like, we're getting toward the end of the movie, and the only couple of kills that there were like off-camera kills where you only see the point of view from the monster, and he's got like this tentacle, with like one claw sticking out of the tentacle, and he would like wrap around someone's leg or something and drag him off screen, and that was the kill. Not very satisfying, not very fun to do kills like that. So that was very disappointing because you also want to see the monster. Now in the third act, you actually do get to see the monster, and it's okay. It's not that impressive. It's kind of goofy looking, but at that point I was just happy to see a monster. And the action does ramp up quite a bit for the third act. But yeah, the first hour there wasn't a whole lot going on. At least, but as a first time watch, it was kind of fun because you were getting to know the characters. Like I said, the characters were likable. They were having fun, like shooting pool. It's a cold movie too. It's in the middle of winter, not Christmas, but in the middle of winter. A lot of snow, icy roads, the whole thing, which is very appropriate, for a February watch. So I was enjoying just the story because, you also have the story, the characters kind of getting to know each other, like the two that were kind of set up. And so all that stuff was kind of fun. So as a first time watch, it was okay. Going back for a repeat, a second time watch, it might be a little boring at that point if you've seen all that other stuff. You're not discovering new ground there. It could get a little stale. But I did really like the ending. Satisfying. It was fun. It was suspenseful. You do finally get to see the monster. So as far as will I recommend this one or not, I guess so. I mean, if you wanted to wait for the sale to pick this one up, you run the risk of missing out on this slipcover because I think this is a big seller. But if that doesn't matter to you, then picking it up later on when it's on sale, you could probably be okay on that one. I just don't know how many times you're going to want to go back and watch this one. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Kind of that one-time watch for now. Maybe I'll want to watch it later on. Maybe once every 2 or 3 years, maybe. I don't know. There's so many new movies that come out. I'd like to believe I would go back and watch it, but, probably not. But I don't regret buying it. Next, we're going to talk about another early 80s horror film. And this one is Funeral Home. And this is a Scream Factory release. Special edition. Loaded with special features. You got the cool slip cover. Some people who bought it from the site got the, the poster. There's your cover art. There's the back there. You do get some reversible cover art. There's a little disc art there. Now the reversible cover art has the original title of the movie, Cries in the Night. Now jumping into the story on this one, it's about a young girl who goes to her grandmother's house to help her sort of convert their funeral parlor into like a bed and breakfast. They call it a tourist home in the movie quite a bit, but it's a bed and breakfast. And so she rolls into town and she meets a guy right away because grandma the truck breaks down and she doesn't pick her up at the bus station, so the girl finds this guy, just jumps into a van. It's actually a really funny scene because she's scared to death of this cat, this black cat out in the open. It doesn't, have her pinned down or anything. And the cat's just hissing and doing all these things. And the girl's just freaked out by this cat, scared to death of the cat. And so the guy pulls up, young guy pulls up in a van, he's got a van and he's like, hey, you want to ride? And she just jumps right in, scared of the cat, not scared at all of the guy in the van. It was a different time. It was a different time back then. So that was kind of funny. But the guy ends up being cool. He ends up being nice. They kind of start dating in the movie. And so he gives her a ride to the funeral home. Turns out his brother's the local sheriff, or local deputy, but he doesn't get a lot of respect and plays sort of a doofy role, like Officer Doofy or something. It kind of reminded me of that. It was kind of funny too. So then you meet the grandmother and you meet the handyman. The handyman lives out in the back in the shed. And he doesn't mind because he's slow. That's what Grandma says. He's slow, so we'll put him in the shed. So yeah, he does work around the farm or the funeral home there. And, he lives out in the barn. And Grandma, she's this real strict, kind of old values grandma. Now her husband, Grandpa, he passed away. At least you think he passed away. Later on you find out maybe he ran off with another woman. But throughout the movie, I think Grandma's telling the granddaughter that that he had passed away, and she's always quoting his morals, his beliefs, his wisdom, trying to put it on the girl there. It seems like it would be the most horrible summer ever to hang out with this grandmother, to be honest with you. If I was that girl, I certainly wouldn't have came to visit crazy grandma. But yeah, so she helps her out, and there's guests that are coming to the funeral home. But they start to disappear, things start to go crazy. And it's what's going on there? There's secrets going on in that funeral home, especially down in the basement. Don't go down in the basement, girl. I warned you. Spoiler-free review, so you'll definitely enjoy the ending of this one. It gets kind of nutty. You kind of see it coming though a little bit, but there is a little bit of a twist there with old grandma who I enjoyed that part quite a bit. It was kind of fun. The movie's slow though. There's not a big body count. People end up dying when they kind of cross grandma. You kind of pick that up right away. So and the handyman kind of, when he's not living in the shed in the back, he comes out and occasionally does some of Grandma's bidding. But it does have a very satisfying third act, I find. Which it picked up on the action quite a bit, but it is a little slow up to that point. Not a huge body count. Um, will people enjoy this one? It really depends. If Scream is your favorite franchise, you're probably not enjoying this one. I don't think. I think it's going to be a little too old for you. I don't think there'll be enough excitement going on, enough kills, enough gore that'll keep you entertained. But if you are someone who loves that late 70s, early 80s horror movies, this one is going to feel like home for you. Because that's what it did for me. It's just got a look and a feel, the way that the grandma acted, the old house, the just the different set pieces, different things going on. It just really brought back that early 80s, even late 70s, kind of horror feel. Even though it wasn't the most action-packed horror movie or gory, or anything like that, it did feel like, and this was a first-time watch for me. This wasn't like a rewatch or anything. And it felt good. It felt like an old friend. Like, I don't know. It was comforting in a weird way to say that about a horror movie like this one. The Boogens had a little bit of that too, because they're both around the same time. I feel like the Boogens maybe had a little more action going on, maybe a little bit more jokiness going on than Funeral Home, but both, had that kind of feel to them. So for those who love the older stuff, I do recommend it to you. The new people that are into the new horror, I don't know. I mean, I don't think this would be the one that's going to win you over. This one being put out from Scream Factory, though, does have a ton of special features. Some really cool stuff. I mean, it's like it's first time like really getting a good release. So it's just got so much stuff on here. I mean, it's got an original filming location footage, which was really cool. It's got theatrical trailer, video trailer, TV spots, radio spots, still gallery, tons of interviews with all kinds of people on the making of and this and that and the other. There's isolated scores. There's commentaries. This thing's got a lot. It's got audio interviews, it's got regular interviews, tons and tons of special features that will keep you busy for a while, talking about the history of this movie. Yeah, it's I'm gonna say that I would pick up both movies. Boogens, you could probably wait for the sale unless you want the slip. If that's important to you, go ahead and grab it now because it is popular. You'll enjoy it. I don't know how much you'll want to rewatch it. Same goes for Funeral Home. It doesn't have a ton of rewatchability, I don't feel. But if you do like the early 80s horror, I think you're going to like this one. It's definitely got those feels to it. Just maybe not the most action-packed movie out there. And yeah, so that's pretty much the review. As far as the 4K of the Boogens go, like the 4K aspect of it, I've never seen the movie. I didn't own it in any previous versions, so it's hard for me to speak on that. I will say though that that it looked really good. The grain was actually fairly minimal And I'm sure it's a great transfer. I like the picture quality. Again, anytime you're working with something like that's this old, it's never going to be like a reference quality disc. But a good restoration, and yeah, I think you'll enjoy it for the picture quality as well. Neither one have like amazing audio or anything. It's all going to be front heavy if you have a theater situation going on. But yeah, so there you go. That's the review. Hopefully, I covered about everything on there. Hopefully, it helped you make up your mind if you want to pick these up. And well, if you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're unsubscribed to the channel, I always invite you to do so. And well, have fun, stay safe. I stayed in this weekend. I watched a bunch of movies. I watched quite a few. And these were good. I'll look back on this day fondly when I sit there and watched the BOOGENS. Until next time.